the 4x4 Podcast, episode 129, The Christmas Gift Guide.
You're listening to the 4x4 Podcast, the podcast all about four-wheeling, overlanding, off-road racing, and the outdoor lifestyle. We talk about news, tips and tricks, answer your questions, and interview big and little names in the off-roading world. So whether your rig is busted and you're in the shop wrenching on it, or you're on your way to the trail, join us and we'll keep you plugged in on topics to help you get away. Here are your hosts, Dan, Craig, and Rich.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 129. This is our annual gift gear guide or gift guide or whatever for 2017. I am your host, Dan, and we also have Rich and Craig. How you doing tonight, guys?
Hey, I'm doing awesome.
Doing good.
Excellent, excellent. So it has been a very long time since we have done a show together, and I think we should be getting back to a more regular production schedule. You know, Rich, you're nearly done with your school work, ready to go back to regular life. Yeah.
Yep.
So, and I am now back officially in the United States, at least for now anyways. I don't have too many work trips planned coming up, so should be good to go. So, to kind of lay out how this show is going to go, we're going to save all the chit-chat and everything that we have just catching up on the months and months of not doing a show. Skip that and save that for episode 130. But this is a whole pile of awesome links from things that our listeners, that you guys have sent us that is on your Christmas list. And then we have a couple things of our own that we want to add. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it and start off with Matt Frick from Camp Forlow. This is something we haven't really publicized a whole lot on any of the social media feeds or talked about on the podcast before, but we do have some T-shirts available through Amazon, and these are T-shirts that are basically open to the public. This isn't special for just 4x4 podcast listeners. This is for anybody. They are all right now priced at $19.99. So for $20, you can get a T-shirt with our logo and some stuff on the back. And there's a lot more designs to come. So periodically, if you just go over to, I'm going to make a short link that takes us to a collection of pages. We'll just call it 4x4podcast.com/shirts. And that'll take you to all the different T-shirts that we have available. Soon to be long sleeve, because here in the Great White North, that's kind of what I'd like to wear, is some long sleeve shirts. So
I'm gonna have to order some. I don't have any.
Yeah, well, don't order.
Come to think of it.
Yeah, we'll have to. And there's been some folks who have submitted some pictures, and once I get their approval, and the whole premise was, you're sending a picture, and I'm going to take it and put it on a T-shirt. And the deal was, if your picture is chosen, then I'm going to send them one for free. So I've got a couple that I'm going to put together just to kind of prime the pump, as it were, and get those out to those individuals. But, if somebody who's good at T-shirt designing wants to shoot me a message at the 4x4podcast.com, sorry, I almost forgot our email address, the 4x4podcast@yahoo.com, then we may be able to enlist your services, because T-shirt designing is not my forte. But.
Yeah. Here's a kind of off-the-cuff idea, too. If you guys do get your T-shirts, take a picture in some location, send it to us, tell us where it is, and we'll put that on the Facebook page, too.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see what kind of faraway places we can get a 4x4 podcast T-shirt featured.
For sure. And here's what's really cool about these, is that these are print-on-demand T-shirts from Amazon. So when you order it, the little monkeys, the Amazon monkeys, go back and they print the new T-shirt and put it in the box and ship it off to you. So when I ordered the first one for my household, all I knew is kind of what the design looked like. I didn't know what the quality of the material was, but it's been great. I've been trying to wear mine out, and I have not yet succeeded. I've given it quite a few washes already over the couple weeks that I've had it. So it's a good T-shirt. You're getting a good looking shirt for $20. So, Rich, you want to take the next one here?
Sure. Aaron Brown sent in one of our favorite retailers also is from Blue Ridge Overland Gear. You put in the seat back panel, which is a Molly seat back panel that goes on the back of your front seats, which you can get bags galore for either from Blue Ridge Overland or even from Amazon. But they're about $52 roughly, give or take. But it's a good gift item, and it's really modular, and you can customize it to your own needs.
Yep, I've got a couple of those in the back of my vehicles, and I love them. Use them every single day. I've got pouches one's for the first aid kit. I've got pens and pencils and stuff to keep the kids entertained, all kinds of stuff in there. So those are awesome, and they can pop off easily with the 2 clips and move to a different seat or a different vehicle or whatever you need.
And as an added bonus, it keeps the kids' muddy boots off the backs of your seats.
Yeah, that is the bonus for sure. So, and if somebody's going to go over to Blue Ridge Overland Gear and order some cool stuff, make sure to use our coupon code 4x4 podcast when you go to checkout, and you will get some kind of discount. I'm not sure what it is anymore, but Matt and everybody over at Blue Ridge Overland Gear is just awesome. Awesome, makes quality products, and glad to support them. And they support us. So, all right. Craig, this one seems to be right up your alley.
I am right with Peter Winters on this one. I would exactly put that at the top of my list is the Ram Prospector XL from AEV. Their Dodge Ram, yes. Totally yes.
So I just realized I may have miscopied. He was actually looking for just a new to him 4x4, and that was my
Sure,
go-to.
he's not even picky. I think he'll take anything. So
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
if I were to pick one right now, that's what I would go pick.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I noticed we've got some followers at AEV because they jumped in. And I don't know that I tagged them on that, my response. So they are, the good folks over at AEV are following us. So, if they're listening as well, I would be glad to take one of these prospectors on 41s. They corrected me. I said 40s, but apparently they're 41s. Out here in the Arctic, see if I could mash those big old BFGs through the muskeg and the snow here, which there's lots of snow here in Alaska already. Definitely looks like Christmas.
Yeah, that would be definitely one of the top Christmas gifts on my list. Santa would definitely have to win the lottery for that one, but I would definitely say thank you, yes, and what can I do for you, Santa, after I get it?
Yeah. The thing about the Prospector XL is that it looks completely proportional. You would not know that those are 41-inch tires just by looking at it.
Yeah, they cut the fenders, put new fenders on it, a deep water air system, new front bumpers, front and rear, light bar, winch.
It's just a beautiful thing.
I'd really like to know from AV if they actually put lockers in these, if they have a locker system for this truck, or it's just the stock diffs. But I'd like to know if it actually has a locker in it or not. I can't remember if it does or doesn't. I haven't seen anywhere in the system where they say that it has a locker or not.
That's all
right. But
right.
I know they have the lockers for the Jeeps that they do. So
yeah. I won't look it up now. I'll wait for them to listen to this episode, and then they can send me some email. All right. So next up, we have David Garcia, who's in Australia. He's looking for a suspension lift and a set of the BFG KO2s, which, I'm a fan of both of those, especially the KO2s. And also, he's looking for a camp chair called the Moon Chair, which is available at a store that I got to explore while I was in Australia called Anaconda, which for our North American listeners is kind of like a Sports Authority type store. They've got a wide range of things there, but some stuff that you would not find at a regular sporting goods store here is a whole section devoted to 12-volt fridges and freezers. So I was pretty envious of that when I was there. But these chairs look pretty awesome. I'm kind of curious as to how small they fold down, because this is like I don't know, it's like a lawn chair meets papasan.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It's like a folding it's like a folding papasan chair.
Yeah.
It looked like a beanbag to me.
It looks comfortable.
Looks like a beanbag to me.
That's a good way to spend some time next to a campfire. All right, Rich, I'll let you take the next one.
Oh, let's see. Art Maya, I hope I'm saying that right, Maya. He wants a Ruger precision rifle and a 6.5 Creedmoor. So not really 4x4 related, but you can always take them in your 4x4 with you. So not a bad choice.
Well, most 4x4s carry that kind of stuff, so
True.
I wouldn't say no. Santa's coming heavily armed this year.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's going to protect those papasan chairs.
Well, and that 6.5 Creedmoor, that would be a good time.
Yeah.
Coming from our military man.
Yeah. Yeah, so the benefit for those of you that are not firearms guys is that you get a lot of the range that you would get out of a 300 Win Mag, which is a popular one, with a little bit less recoil. So it's a really good one. I like that one. Good choice. Good choice. All right, Craig, you're next.
Oh, I skipped on. Sorry. Let's see. George. What is it?
Gregory Bodine, who's rocking one
Gregory
of our hats.
Bodine, yeah.
It's probably about time I get you a new hat, huh?
He wants a JK Rubicon with the rooftop tent.
You're skipping too far ahead. Greg, he's looking for the Dynatrack axles.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You got them so tight together, I thought he was... Oh, okay. Yeah, Dynatrack axles? Okay. Yeah, that would be...
That's another good choice. You know, was it Dynatrack that's putting in a new plant somewhere? I was listening to our friends over at the Jeep Talk Show, and they were talking about, now that I think about it, maybe it was Dana putting in a new actual manufacturing plant. Anyways,
I haven't heard that.
Yeah. I don't know if that means they're trying to keep up with the production schedule that they've got going on or what. But either way, Dynatrack also makes some awesome axles.
Well, maybe they're supplying them to Jeep, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe they're supplying something to Jeep for the new 2018, 2019 Jeeps.
Yeah, that's why I think maybe it was Dana, because basically every Jeep ever made has just about every truck nowadays has some sort of Dana part somewhere in it.
Yeah.
All right, next up is Gary Alt, who is looking for that JKU Rubicon with the Ursa Minor camper top. And those Ursa Minor camper tops come with a ton of different options. So when you're ordering one, you can get it with just about anything you want, ranging the price from a little over $6,000 to a little over $12,000. And that's actually, we did an interview with somebody that's doing the exploring all over Africa in a JKU Rubicon with the Ursa Minor.
Yeah, and I forgot his name now. Venture 4-wheel drive.
Yep.
Follow him on YouTube. He also has a JKU with a Ursa Minor.
Yeah. So basically what that is, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, is it's a pop top. It replaces the hard top on your Jeep Wrangler, and it's got the whole sleeping area above the tent, or above the roof, but it's accessed from inside the vehicle. So you just climb up inside the tent from inside the vehicle. And I assume there's probably some living space down in the bottom, depending on how you option it, with cabinets and water storage and all that stuff. So very cool. That's pretty high on the dream list there.
All right, and I got Zach Mayfield. who I don't know what Zach drives, but this is kind of universal. He wants a National Luna dual battery kit along with a rear bumper and a roof rack. So all good choices.
Yeah, those dual battery, the National Luna makes some really great products. Every review that I've seen that has National Luna competing against something else has always got top marks. So
yeah,
they make some great stuff.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
All right, Craig.
My tongue's not working today. This morning. Tonight. Oh God, I'm exhausted. Shannon Bros, and
I think it looks like Shane Boston.
Shane Boston recommends everything. Pick up a
Lawrence
GPS system. Have you heard of those systems?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't.
We did a review with them.
We did? Well, I didn't touch it, so.
No, yeah, it was with Rugged Rocks.
Yep. They make a lot of the mapping and software, or the mapping stuff for them. But, I didn't know which one Shane was referring to, so I just went and picked one. And actually, this one seems to be, it's a smaller one. I think it's got the 5-inch display, but it has the GPS built in. And this would mount really well to a UTV or inside a race truck. A lot of the desert race trucks use Lowrance.
The Lawrence.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just because it's very durable.
And that's a good price for him too. Of what he's got marked there, about $300. They're stout. They're really durable units. I think that's why they use them in a lot of the open racers.
Yeah. And I remember one of the things we were talking about is the newer ones, the newer and larger screen ones have touch screen displays, which may not work especially well when you're bouncing down a trail. So the one that I picked here to highlight, the Elite 5 Chirp version, it actually has the push buttons, so there's no bouncing around on a touch screen. So it's funny, those things are, fish finders and chart plotters, but they're basically just high-end, durable GPSs. So that's the kind of thing you would mount in your vehicle full-time and not have to worry about popping your phone into a RAM mount or something.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's see. Next up, we have Tyson, who's looking for soft shackles and Colby valve stems. So I didn't know which soft shackles he was specifically referring to, so I dropped in a link here from Treaty Oak Off-Road, and they've got a coupon code we can use as well. The 4x4 podcast there will get you a discount all the way through the end of the year. But those are also made in America. And then Colby valve stems, we have not talked to them yet, somehow I realized.
No, but I'm pretty familiar with them. I need to get a set. It's just a good thing to have, I think, when you're out on the trail. So you accidentally rip a valve stem off and you don't have anything to fix that. You're kind of out of luck. You got to use your spare. These will just replace the valve stem that you've ripped off and put these in and air them up and you're good to go. Yeah.
Those are very handy. And I was realizing that I don't know how, after all the years of four-wheeling, I have not done that myself. But I think it's basically because of the tires, the design that I'm using, where the valve stem is set pretty far inside the offset of the wheel.
That makes a big difference.
Yeah. Whereas a lot of newer vehicles, they've got that valve stem poking out almost flush with the edge of the wheel. So I can see how that would be easy to rip right off.
Yeah.
So those are pretty good, and you can get a set for $35. That'll put in your emergency bag, and $35 is a lot less than it would take to disassemble a tire and replace the valve stems or
definitely,
or the tow bill to get your rig off the trail.
Yeah. All right, Pierre Menard. He wants a set of airbags to coil conversions for his 4Runner. So it sounds like he's wanting to replace it with a set of airbags.
So I think it was the going from airbags to coils is the way you wrote it, but I didn't know 4Runners had airbags.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious now. And if they do,
it all depends on what year it is. I'm guessing it's got to be what year Forerunner it is to what if it has airbags or not. It might be one of the newer Forerunners.
Looks like I'll be doing some research tonight, or maybe I'll just go ask Jason Hoffman. He'll know.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't think they've ever mentioned it over on their podcast, over on the Toyota Trucks and Trails podcast. But interesting.
And then we have Rob. Which says this is not his real last name. Wants some solar, a solar setup for his adventure trailer.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm not super smart on, but I know there's a bunch of different companies out there that have kits already put together. I met up with the guys from Overland Solar at the Northwest Overland Rally, and he had a display and had everything put together. So depending on what you look for, they've got packages just to meet whatever your needs are. So,
yeah, well, I have one little bit on my Christmas list farther down, so when we get to it.
Yep. Yeah, we should add that all of the links, or most of the links for everything we're talking about, is in the show notes for this. So if you go to the 4x4podcast.com/129, that'll take you to the show notes, and you'll see all the links. So you don't have to worry about backing up and catching everything that we say. We are saving all of the links for you, making it easy for you to go and purchase. Some of them are affiliate links, like the Amazon one. Some of them are not. For instance, the one from Kenny Olson, he's looking for a rare Land Cruiser. And since he's picking, he chose a Toyota 1990 HZJ77. Oh, wait, that's me.
Yeah, you're picking it for him.
I'm picking it for you. All right, Kenny, here's what I found for you. And since we're spending your money, I'm going to go for broke. This is $22,000 on a 1990 Toyota Land Cruiser. It's got 116,000 miles, which means it's basically made from unobtainium. I don't know how you... $22,000. But, so what I do know from these is that the HZJ nomenclature means it is running a diesel motor. And then the 77 series, that is in the 70 series family. So the 77 is a four-door kind of short box on the back, SUV wagon style. Whereas like the 79, which is the one that I would have picked if I had found it on landcruiserdirect.com, the 79 is like a four-door with a bed, a truck bed on the back. I really fell in love with those while I was in Australia. So
yeah.
Those are nice.
So, and since we're talking to Kenny, sorry I haven't replied yet, but I won't be able to make it to the Christmas party. I'm working. So, Kenny started our Kanza Overland group here in Kansas.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll save it for another discussion because my time in Alaska may be coming to a close in a couple months. So.
Yep. And then we got Sean Caldwell, who wants a 12-volt fridge freezer. And looks like Dan's recommending the Engel fridge units, built tough and widely available. So, and they are a good good refrigerator, and I believe the latest edition of Outdoor by 4. I think they do a 12-volt fridge shootout, so they do a nice comparison in there for the last month.
Okay, we'll have to check that one out. I just know the Engel is really kind of coming into the U.S. market pretty strong lately. And I didn't really notice it until I got back from Australia, and I noticed that my counterparts in the Australian Defence Force have, these fridges and freezers installed in their military vehicles and around their offices, and that had me pretty jealous, not going to lie.
Yeah.
All right, Cole wants... the monster valves for the power tank.
I'm not familiar with these. I'm assuming they just allow more air.
They're big. They're like valve stems that are almost twice the size. Or no, they're 30% bigger, I think. So they flow more air, so you can air up and air down faster.
Yeah, it's compatible with an air chuck. So basically it allows, what their website says over at powertank.com, is that you can air down a 39-inch tire to 30 let's see, down to 30 psi. Man, good Lord, that's a lot of psi to start from. In 30 seconds. Let's see.
No, it allows you to air down 30 psi. So
okay.
if you're
Dropping
at
30 psi out.
Yeah, so if you were set at 40, you could drop down to 10 psi in 30 seconds.
Boy, we should record earlier in the day. My brain is starting to not work.
Hey, you're the one that showed up an hour late.
That's true. This cold weather is starting to slow me down, make me sluggish.
And then here it'll inflate that same tire in 50 to 60 seconds.
That's pretty good.
As long as you have a compressor that can push
Keep
that
up with
much
that,
air.
yeah.
Well, since it is power tank, we're talking CO2.
Yeah.
So if you got a wide inlet, that allows you to dump a lot of air in a very short time. So I wonder how that would work in some Arctic conditions, because when you blow those compressed air, it gets
mighty
very
cold.
cold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder. I'll have to send them a message and see if they've done any Arctic testing. All right, back to the list here. I got
All right.
back to the right tab. All right, Bjarn.
Bjarn Bergen.
Yeah, one of our listeners from Norway. Every time I see him posting pictures, it makes me want to
jealous. Yeah.
He's looking for a C-Tech charger and a Wivco design shake and break impact screwdriver. Now the C-Tech chargers, I'm pretty familiar with those. It's like a trickle charger type thing, but they also have a wide range of pulsing chargers to give a good strong charge to a battery in a short time, and jump starters and stuff like that. But the impact I was not real familiar with. Boy, and I closed the tab looking at that. Basically, it is a manual powered impact screwdriver. So that's pretty awesome. No air required or electric.
And we got Wyatt Cleveland. He wants a 40-liter fridge freezer, but he must be a JKU owner. In reality, he needs a set of Dana 30 axle sleeves, C-gussets, and a new diff cover. So I understand the pain there.
Oh, yeah. So since you're looking for all of that stuff, I went back and looked, and we've got some friends over at Artec Industries, and they make a truss or an armor kit. So for $300, you get the truss that reinforces the axle tube, so you wouldn't have to sleeve it, and it's also got the C-gussets on the out on those outer C's or the inner C's.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good deal, and it provides some diff protection. So that's something I would check out. $300 seems like a pretty good deal for that kind of setup. You have to provide your own welding skills, though. So that's probably the hardest part.
Yep, and I'll tell you, if anybody out there is wanting to sleeve their Dana 30s, don't go the route I did and get the hammer end sleeves. Go ahead and get the weld end sleeves. Those hammer ends are a pain in the butt. Never do that again.
Yeah. That would be a huge pain.
It was. It took 3 of us taking turns hammering those things in.
Good night.
Yeah, and we had to make our own tools.
Wow.
You had to make your own hammer?
Well, you don't want to mushroom off the ends of your sleeves by hammering in, so we made basically a piece to go over the end of the sleeve so we could hit it instead of mushrooming the end of the...
That's crazy.
So yeah, it was a nightmare.
I'm surprised that there's not a tool, somebody's made a tool that just like, I don't know, that you could run an impact wrench on the other side and just suck it in from the other side.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's something that I was actually formulating a plan on. This is a real rabbit trail here, but I have seized the motor in a snowmobile, and I've pulled it apart, but the wrist pins that hold the piston onto the connecting rod is baked, and it's not coming off. So I was developing a tool that I could just crank down on with a wrench, and it would pull that wrist pin out of there. So anyway, so I've got that on my brain already, trying to figure out a better way to do things.
Next show.
Yeah. Anyways, let's see. We got Matthew Campbell. He's looking for a Rollo roof rack and extension, and also a 4x Innovations rack, or rack mounts. So the 4x Innovations rack mounts, I've seen those, and they've got all kinds of stuff that helps you connect, fuel cans, water cans, jacks, shovel, axes, whatever you need to a rack, similar to like the Rollo roof rack. So I haven't had any personal experience with Rollo roof racks, though, so I don't know.
I don't either. But we got Brandon Lee Matthews. He wants a buddy heater and a Coleman single burner stove. I think we're all familiar with those. Those are awesome choices.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got that Mr. Heater. The one here I've got in the show notes. And that's what I take ice fishing. So we'll put that up there in the little tent, and it runs great. So actually, early November, went out moose hunting with my wife, and it got down to -8. And we just cracked the windows in the Yukon, had the sleeping bags laid out there. And, the window was cracked just to let some fresh air in and out. And that thing worked awesome. Did not get cold. So, good choice. All right. Go for it.
We have Tom. Oh. Your thing came right up over his last name.
Oh, Google Docs hazards.
Yeah. Tom Clover wants a new spring, possibly, or new springs, I'm guessing, for his vehicle from Metal Cloak, and some sumo bump stops.
Yeah, those have you, Rich? Have you seen those sumo bump stops or the sumo springs?
No, I haven't. I'm gonna be Googling them right now.
Oh man! So everything that Metal Cloak makes are pretty awesome, but what these are is like bump stops that are integrated into the springs.
Oh wow, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So
I met the manager of Metal Cloak out at Prairie City at one of the pre-runs for the King of the Hammers. Yeah. It's just one of the races that they run, and they said they're real good guys.
Yeah, so
they want to make a good product. They want to make a happy customer.
So what the sumo springs are essentially is a progressive compression under load. So usually when you hit those bump stops, it is like you are on it, and you feel that impact immediately. But just having that little bit of squish and give kind of cushions it out when you actually bottom out onto the bump stops. That's a pretty cool idea. Love the idea. All right, and Dusty Dunn, he's looking for an ARB dual air compressor, and that's a very, very popular one. I can see why it's on your Christmas list instead of just a go-buy, because I think the best price I found for it was $492. So that's a pretty spendy air compressor.
And then we got. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna butcher your name. Is it Tylyn Blaylock? Tylyn. He has a Ford Bronco, and he wants a James Duff lift kit for it.
Yeah, I think James Duff only makes lifts for Ford Broncos. I've never seen them on anything else.
They make, for Ford products. They make it for Broncos and Rangers.
Yeah, good choice there.
Yep.
And we've got
Thomas.
Go ahead.
Thomas Buck Baller wants a 4x4 conversion for a '89 Ford van.
Yeah, so I've exchanged emails.
98 Ford van, 4x4. He wants the conversion kit.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones out there. I see a lot of Quigleys up here in Alaska.
Lots of Quigleys.
Yep. But I know U-Joint Off-Road, they make some good kits, but Quigleys seems to be the most popular choice.
Quigley and U-Joint are the top two, and then I hear horror stories about some other ones out there that I'm not going to name. So.
Oh, yeah. So, and I guess I should add that Tom actually hosts the Trucking Podcast, and another one, Tom and Chris and Don, Camping Podcast. They're both pretty good listening to. I'll listen to that one on road trips with my family. But those are pretty good.
Oh, okay.
And I've got links to those on the show notes too, so be sure to check them out.
So speaking of Jason Hoffman earlier from Toyota Trucks and Trails, he wants some lower transfer case gears.
See, I thought the Toyota thing was just to add another transfer case. Is that not a thing anymore?
It still is a thing.
It is like a crawl box,
but you can't. I mean, you can replace the gears inside the box, but a lot of people find it cheaper. I have a friend; it's a Toyota guy. He finds it's cheaper just to put another transfer case on the back of it, and it does the same thing. You know.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. That's not something I've ever dealt with, or divorce transfer cases, where the transfer case is not directly connected to the transmission. But pretty interesting.
Oh, we got a fellow XJ owner here.
Yeah. So Ricardo Rodriguez, he's looking for new gears for his XJ. So I always run Yukon gears. That's my go-to. So that's my choice. Wherever you get them from, just get the high-performance ones, and you'll be good to go.
Yep, and it looks like David Boyd has made Kelly mad because she wants a CVT rooftop tent, probably for him to sleep in at night. So,
well, it must not have made her too upset because CVT makes some pretty good stuff.
Well, she wants him comfortable, I guess.
Either that, or she knows he's going to be spending a lot of time in it.
Yeah. Those CVT makes awesome rooftop tents, and they've done a lot of innovation too. So I think that has brought us to the end of the all of our listeners. So now we get to the things that we are choosing for ourselves here, and these are things that I actually pulled off of my Amazon wish list. And we'll start this off. One of them is a exhaust heat wrap. And I'm kind of curious as to anybody else's experiences using a heat wrap on the exhaust manifold and everything. Because I've noticed that I have a crack in mine, and my Jeep now, instead of getting 250 miles per tank, which is pretty sorry, now only gets 150 miles per tank.
Oh.
So.
Well, I've never wrapped any of my vehicles, but I've wrapped plenty of motorcycles. And other than it making it so your leg doesn't get so hot, that's really the only benefit from it. I didn't notice there's no horsepower gains, no fuel economy gains. But then again, I'm talking about a short run for a motorcycle too. So
yeah, well, and so the problem with like the Jeep Cherokees and the 4-liter, the 4.0 straight six, is that the intake manifold and the exhaust manifold is all on the same side. Whereas like a V8, you've got 4 going one way and 4 going the other way, or any V setup motor. So you're dumping a lot of heat out on the same side of the engine, where the intake is also at. So I figured if I keep some of the heat off and prevent that from getting into the rest of the engine bay, I'd be in good shape.
It will definitely do that. It'll definitely keep the heat down. So
yeah. Well, since I'm looking at replacing the exhaust manifold instead of repairing it, I've picked out the Banks torque tube system, which I like their design and how the collectors are put together. Should prevent any cracks forming in the future. And it should give me a little bump in power and torque. So, unfortunately, it's $377.
Yeah, well, you can't go wrong with Banks.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I would say yes. The only thing you have to worry about is getting it smogged. That's the only thing I'd be worried about.
He's in Alaska.
Yeah, but when he moves, if he ends up back in America, where they make you smog your vehicle, it might become a problem.
So,
but I think all you need is...
Funny you mentioned. So, since I'm military, I get to keep my plates. That's one of the U.S. laws. I get to keep them with my home of record or whatever, which is changing to Alaska. And Alaska has a cool law. Once your vehicle is 8 years old or older, you can get permanent plates. So I just registered my Jeep here in Alaska because it was due. And instead of having the little sticker with the year or a month or year, whatever, now I just have the letter Z with a serial number on the sticker. So my Jeep Cherokee is registered to me for forever until I'm done with it. So never have to worry about it expiring. Yeah. Yep. I even had my registration, the actual registration paper, laminated, so that way I don't have to worry about it dissolving in the glove box with the rest of the vehicle. So next up on my list is the Carhartt's the duck bib overalls with the Arctic quilting. I've been spending a lot of time outside already, and the temperature, I don't know, over the course of the last 2 weeks has only come above zero just a handful of times. And it's going to get a lot colder over the course of the winter, and so these bib overalls should do just the trick when I'm out exploring or wrenching, because, like I said, before the show we were chit-chatting, I have a fleet of snowmobiles piled up around my house, as well as, the Jeep and the Yukon all needing my attention. So these overalls should do just the trick. Also on my wish list is the Rugged Ridge all-terrain floor mats, because the floor mats in my Jeep are, I don't know, probably 15 years old, and so they kind of squirt around a little bit, and I have ice. So if I sit in the vehicle long enough for ice and snow to melt off my boots, it actually forms a puddle and then freezes into a solid sheet of ice in the floorboards. And since the floor mats are worn out, the water just kind of spills over, and so my carpet in the Jeep is just a solid block of ice.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
I've got the WeatherTechs in my Tacoma. It's the first time I've ever had really nice floor mats. I'll tell you what, they're worth every penny.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I may have to change what's on my list here and go for the WeatherTech ones instead. It just, everything in there is such a wreck already that, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, going back to air compressors, I've got the 400P, the Viair 400P portable air compressor on my list. And the reason I chose the portable versus a hard-mounted is, these compressors are expensive, and I have multiple vehicles that see off-road duty now, and a trailer. So I'd like having the option to be able to move things around, and for $168, get a high-flow air compressor that just clamps onto a battery and does the trick.
Yep, I agree with you. That's a good way to go. Portable is a good way to go, I think.
I have the 450. I have the 450 of that, and I love it.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Yep, that's a good one. Now, here is one that actually was not on my list, but I think it should be, just because I've turned in kind of a radio nerd after getting my ham radio license. But this is the Midland MXT 400 Micro Mobile. And what this is like a FRS, GMRS, little handheld walkie-talkie things that everybody has laying around the house, and sounds way better than a CB and takes zero work to get tuned and set up, except it's 40 watts instead of the GMRS limited down to 3 or 4 watts, whatever it is. So for $250, plus I should add that you're supposed to pay that license to use that. I think it's like $70, and it's good for, I don't know, some years. I'll have to look that one up. And it's good for your family or everybody that's in the group talking. So that way you can have that higher power radio and be able to talk farther to people in your group using just little walkie-talkies. So these are pretty cool. There's another, I think it's the MXT 15 or 150 or something, and it's 15 watts versus the 40. But, if you're going to spend the money, you just go for broke. Go for that 40-watt unit.
Well, you got to also, I just looked at what you did, but you also got to throw in another $20 to $40 for an antenna, because it doesn't come with an antenna.
That's true. It does not come with an antenna. But the good thing about these little FRS radios, or the GMRS ones, is that the antenna is a lot smaller than like a CB antenna. Where if you want to get that full wavelength, it's, like the 108-inch long whip antennas that are going to bang into all the trees and everything you drive by. Whereas these antennas are much smaller, easier to put wherever you need to. And they do have magnetic ones available, mag mount antennas, so that you don't have to use it the entire time. And that magnetic antenna really $40 gets you out the door with just what you need versus a hard-mounted one. And I have reached the end of my list, despite I've got links in there for other cool stuff like the GoPro stuff, but that didn't make the cut. So, Rich, you're up.
All right. So, top on my list is we've talked about Kodiak canvas in the past. So they finally released a truck bed tent for mid-sized trucks. So these will fit the Toyota Tacoma, the Colorado, the Canyon, and I believe the Nissan Frontier. So but these are nice, high-quality canvas truck bed tents, and the material is not like your traditional canvas tent. These are actually wick moisture quite a bit better. So definitely take a look at Kodiak canvas for those. Then I've also got, it's called Empowered. It's a Lucy inflatable solar-powered camp light. So coming from my ADV background, I like things to pull double duty. So if I'm going to pack something, I'd like for it to perform one task along with another. Kind of rationalizes why I'm bringing it along. Plus, this is inflatable, so it packs down nice and small. So it's a solar-powered lantern.
Yeah, I saw these at REI the other day when I was in there. That's awesome.
So, yeah, the double duty this thing does is not only does it perform as a lantern, but it'll also work as a charger for your cell phone too. So it's a neat little option, and they're pretty reasonably priced, also around $35.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out like how the inflatable thing works, but having seen one set up, the way the light bounces off that lens really gives you more light dispersion, so you get more light out of a smaller package. Yeah,
and you can illuminate it either inflated or deflated too. So deflated, it looks like it kind of gives you a little bit more of a concentrated light. So it's worth a look.
Oh yeah, very cool.
And then ram mount. I love ram mount. I've had them in every vehicle and motorcycle. So they've had the Tough Track in the past. It was a nylon track that you could screw into your center console or along your dash. And this gives you a mounting point, a hard mounting point for you to mount your whatever your ram mount you're going to use. So they've announced an aluminum Tough Track. So can't find any pricing on it yet, but I saw that it was out at Expo. It was listed out there. So that's going to be something neat. It's a hard, rigid mounted system for your ram mounts.
Yeah, that's for ram mount nerds like ourselves that use multiple ram mount things.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a good place to mount your phone and your iPad or a tablet or whatever you're using for your mapping and stuff like that. So I couldn't find the aluminums on Ram Mount's website yet, but the nylon Tough Tracks are still listed. So you kind of get an idea for what they do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For what they are, those are pretty cheap. The largest one, the 18.5-inch long Tough Track, $10.
Yeah, so that's for the nylon one.
Yeah.
That's not for the aluminum one. So, and tools. I'm a tool nerd, and tool rolls. I love tool rolls. I can pack all my tools in there. They're nice. They're packaged tightly, and they don't rattle.
Yep.
Which is I hate rattling. So I have tool rolls in every vehicle. So the ones I typically use are Carhartt. I like the Carhartt Legacy tool rolls. And I'll divide all my tools up specifically. I'll have wrenches or I'll have screwdrivers, or electrical or whatever. So always a good option.
Does this have something designed to keep it closed once it's all rolled up?
The Carhartt one has a nylon. Well, it's not really a nylon. It's a webbing strap with a nylon clip. And last, I've got the Campfire Defender. It's a fireproof blanket. I don't know if you've ever seen these before.
Yes, I have. I've seen these.
So you can use them either to help put your campfire out. You can use them to keep your coals warm overnight. So when you wake up in the morning, you can start your morning fire easier. You can use it to deflect the heat. So it almost works as like a reflector for your campfire. So they've got all kinds of options. There's even a little vent on the top of it that you can help. If you close the vent, of course, it's going to put the fire out. If you open it, it'll kind of help keep those coals hot overnight. So,
dude, that is awesome. Where has this been all my life? Like, that's, you find yourself at camp, like, it's late. Do I want to, like, start a campfire? Because then you got to stay up and babysit the thing, or you got to wait until it burns out.
Yeah.
This is perfect.
And it is. It's one of those ideas of, like, why didn't somebody think of this sooner?
And I think they come in, like, different sizes, too.
There's 2 sizes. There's a Defender Pro and a Pathfinder kit. So,
yeah, one
Pathfinder,
for small campfires and one for big campfire.
Well, I would say the Pro fits your typical campfire. The Pathfinder, it seems pretty small. It's going to be a pretty small campfire.
Yep, this is going on my list.
And again, all those links will be listed in the show notes.
That is awesome. CampfireDefender.com. Perfect.
And then I found for my list, I found a little survival kit. It just has everything you need in a kit for either camping or four-wheeling. It's got, a little flashlight, a compass, a fire starter, one of those little wire cutters that you can saw back and forth to cut small limbs, a whistle, some just a thermal blanket, and it's tiny. It's no bigger than a wallet. I mean, it literally is maybe the same size as a wallet.
Huh. That's pretty cool. Those ferro rods, the fire starter things, over this weekend, I kid you not, this weekend, I actually had one shatter on me as I was trying to start a fire. That was one of those things I was like, okay, this is a sign. I do have a spare, but I've never had one of those, like, shatter and splinter apart on me.
Well, I mean, you think about it when you are using them. If you've used it a lot, they are going to eventually break because you are slowly shaving off that metal. So eventually you're going to hit a shatter point and it's going to break.
Yeah,
but it's always good to have one of those
before I use it all up. Or my kids lose it. So. And
then I'm going to skip around here. And that was for like $17. And then I found a backpack for $40. It actually has a solar panel in it and a battery. So you can charge, if you're out, it's got a little battery pack inside that while you're walking, it charges the battery pack. So you can recharge your phone, recharge your tablet, recharge your camera or your GoPro in this case. I just thought that was would be a neat idea, especially for backpackers, somebody going out on a snowmobile or motorcycle for the day, and you have some backup power just in case.
Yeah, I had a backpack that had one of those solar panels on it, and I found that it put out so little juice that it was almost not even worth it.
Well, you got to remember, I've been doing some research. I've been doing some research on amps and volts and stuff, and I'm going to do something for us on that, but we'll do that at a different time. Also on my list is an ARB 7x10 orange brush rag X jack bag. It's one of those bags that you just throw under your vehicle, and you hook it. You can either hook it to an air compressor, or you just put the end over your exhaust, and you start up your vehicle, and it raises your vehicle up on any terrain, mud, ice, sand.
Not recommended for bed of nails.
Yeah, probably, unless they're laying sideways, But that was one of the other things on my Christmas list. And then, of course, a 12-volt fridge. I actually found one that has two separate, one where you can make it a freezer, and then the other side you can make a refrigerator, or you can both make them both refrigerators or bake them both freezers, for about $700. Actually they classified it as a dual zone refrigerator freezer. So it actually has two separate compartments, unlike some of the fridge freezes out there right now. The bottom's freeze and the top is, regular.
Right.
So that was one of the ones I found. It's about $700. It's 62 quarts. So
yeah, 62
I think
quarts is pretty big.
That's huge. That's huge
big.
for around $700.
I do know some folks who have winter, and that's WY Inter units, and they definitely recommend getting the insulation or the transit bag, just to help keep the heat out and keep the insides cool. Just because the compressor on that one will run more than some of the other ones. I guess the case's insulation itself is not super, it's not real good, so it dissipates a lot of heat, and the compressor runs more than some of the other ones, but still works fine as long as you've got the electrical juice to support the compressor running more.
And then another one on my list is the Goal Zero battery solar system. It's for camping. It's $1,400. It's
basically a giant battery with a bunch of different outputs.
Yeah, pretty much. It has all that. It can run a TV. It can run a VCR. It can actually run your refrigerator up to 8 hours before it needs to be recharged.
Who's running a VCR?
That's what they show in the advertisement for it.
You know how many hotel rooms I can stay in for $1,400 and get my TV and VCR power just fine?
I dare you to find a hotel that has a VCR in it. I dare you.
Yeah. And if you do find one, it's a pretty cheap hotel.
Oh, you're probably paying by the hour for that.
Okay. And then last on my list is the Lead Dog Motorsports Extreme Off-Road Trailer. You can get it in 3 different sizes. You can get it in a 4x8 for $8,000. You can get it in a 5x8 for $9,000, or you can get a 5x9 for $10,000. And it's kind of like the teardrops that everybody sees, but instead of it being teardrop in the back, it's squared off. I've seen these actually at the Off-Road Expo down in Costa Mesa when I was down there 2 years ago. And the thing I like about the back of these is the kitchen. You just open the door and the whole back is a kitchen. And it's and then it's just, you can sleep inside of it just like a regular off-road trailer. And it has all the amenities you can get with it. You can actually get a tent that hooks to the side of it. If you want that extra space or cooking space.
Yeah.
But that's it for my list.
Can you get that trailer with a VCR?
I'm never going to hear the end of that one. DVD player, VCR. Well, the problem is I still have a VCR somewhere around here.
I'm sure I do too somewhere. Probably keeping a table level or something. Oh, well, that is it. That brings us to the end of our 2017 edition of the Christmas Gift Guide. So I'm sure that there are more people, more wishes, or more items to put on the wish list. But, I want to say if we included your item on this episode, shoot us a message either through Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or whatever, all the different ways, or you can email it to the 4x4podcast@yahoo.com. Shoot us your mailing address, and I will put a sticker or two. Maybe I won't do it. Maybe I'll have the elves over in North Pole here. Maybe I'll have them put the stickers in an envelope and shoot them out to you guys. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who's stayed with us here despite the pretty long break in podcast episodes. But just trust me, there's a lot more stuff going on. I've got some interviews already recorded. Normal production schedule will return. So
someday.
Yeah, no, someday soon.
Hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah, it's funny. That's always been one of our New Year's Eve or the New Year's resolutions. Do more shows, and then life happens. So
yeah.
Sorry about that. We keep aiming for it and keep missing, but it's all right. It is. The audience is still growing. We were mentioning this before, but we have entered into the 1 millions of downloads. So lots of folks love the 4x4 podcast, and I just want to say thank you to everybody who has been telling their friends and family and coworkers and anybody who will listen about the 4x4 podcast, and just keep coming back. So thanks for that, guys. That definitely warms my heart. So and again, like Rich said, if you buy something from this or buy one of the t-shirts, shoot us some pictures. We want to see whatever you get. And if you get something that's not on in this episode, still interested in seeing all the cool off-roading products or just, outdoor lifestyle. Anything that gets you outside exploring. That's what we are all about. So, you guys got any closing comments here?
Rich?
Hope everybody has good holidays.
And I want to say, I appreciate all our listeners, and I want to wish them a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hopefully, you guys will hear from us before then, before the New Year at least, again. And I want to thank all our military for all their service, and God bless, and I hope you guys make it home safe.
All right, well, tread lightly, God bless, and be safe out there while exploring your world.
Tacoma, Land Rover, Wrangler, Defender, Land Cruiser, Xterra, Raptor, and Tundra. But do you recall the most famous off-roading vehicle of all? Blackie the lifted XJ had some very shiny lights, and if you ever saw them, you would even say, "Wow, those are bright." All of the other off-roaders used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Blackie join in any off-road games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, "Blackie, with your lights so bright, won't you be my ride tonight?" Then all the off-roaders loved him as they honked their horns with glee. Beep, beep. Blackie the lifted XJ, you'll go down in off-road history.